All right, welcome in. Cube Show Podcast, college football podcast, usually coming to you now on Mondays, but we couldn't get it done. 15 games, semi-home game for me, so came back for a flag football game Saturday morning, stayed for 2 baseball games for my kids on Sunday. It was cool, though. My kids got to come to the games. Big thank you to Alex Thompson, Greg Byrne, everybody at Alabama for helping me get my kids to the game, being able to hang out before the game. They had a blast. They thought it was awesome. Coach DeBoer went over and said hello to them. They got to meet Nate Oates. It was really cool. But don't think that they're getting recruited in there, by the way. That's not something that's really happening. You guys can stop that madness right now. We got a lot to get into. We're going to go through all the games. We've watched all the film. We're brought to you by Wickles Pickles. We are at home doing this at home. This is not going to happen much in the fall. We're able to go through some of these games at the house, but we're going to be able to do that today. We will start with Alabama. I was on the call for this game. Everybody wanted to see how they bounce back. Talking to the coaches leading into this game, the attitude, the demeanor was where it needed to be. They knew what happened in that first game, thought that there was maybe too many guys trying to process things, thinking a little bit too much, striving for perfection, slowing them down just a little bit. Talked to Deontay Lawson. He admitted that the knee maybe held him back a little bit in the first game, but now that he had a game under his belt, felt like he would be better. The offense, defensive line, some of the things that maybe they started doing early in the Florida State game, wanted to try to do more of. Talked to David Ballou, strength coach, who said that their output numbers and their GPS monitors were off the charts all week. So they brought the intensity in practice, and I think it showed up in the game. The biggest question for everybody was, did they have that killer instinct? Could they go out there and step on somebody's throat? They did that. So I would say for now, mission accomplished. You got to do it every week. It has to be something that's repetitive, but you give them the credit from going to week 1, looking sluggish, not performing the way you needed to getting it done in week 2. I like the plan from Ryan Grubb with Ty Simpson. Give them easy 1-2 reads early on. Hand the ball off or hit it on the perimeter. Widen the defense out a little bit, then try to run right at them, and then hit some play action, utilize a little bit of quarterback run. They did that, and they did it well. You saw 17 and 11 at wide receiver. Some real juice could be added to that offense. I think they're guys that bring extra speed. I mean, 11's gone, I think, 23-plus miles. I think both those guys have hit 23 miles an hour on the GPS. So they're going to be able to add a little bit more to what that offense is going to be. I thought all the backs ran hard. You're still going to get Jam Miller back. You have no issue really at running back. The guy that keeps coming on that I'm impressed with is Cuevas at tight end, 80. He's adding a physical element to that offense that I wasn't sure they were going to get at that position. Now, last year, you had 2 glorified guards doing it. You knew what you were getting with Oates and Dupree. This young man has stepped up physically, and it was interesting. We talked to Ryan Grubb. He said, I got recruiting notes at Fresno State from this guy. Like, we've been on him for a while. He's followed this staff here. He was dinged up in fall camp. Now he's ready to go. And this is 2 games in a row that I feel like he's added a little oomph to the run game from the tight end position. And he showed he can catch the ball and get out in space and do a little bit too. So that position coming around, you still have a couple of guys that are dinged up at that spot. They want to try to get them into the lineup and do some different things. But at the end of the day, your quarterback comes out, starts 17-17. You have 3 quarterbacks throw multiple touchdowns. Never happened in a game. Austin Mack showed you that big pocket presence, ability to push the ball down the field, big, strong arm. And then obviously you got to see Keelan Russell, the freshman. That start, stop, like back, and then release the football for the touchdown pass. That's the 5-star ability I think people are excited to see, that you want to see from him and what he's going to be able to offer. I thought Parker Brailsford had another amazing game. Didn't like the one holding call that he got, but he has just been all over the place for this offense. He's reaching 3 techniques. He's driving people off the ball. He's going one-on-one with nose guards. He's going one-on-one in pass pro, shooting his hands, driving his feet, dumping guys on the ground. He's been incredible. Like I said in the broadcast, I think he's the best player on this team. I think he's the best center in America right now. That's where I am on Parker Brailsford. I think now you look at this deal with Austin Mack that some people wanted to try to make something of. It wasn't. Kalen DeBoer told us going into the game, we're going to give him a series in the second quarter. That's the way it's going to be. And we just want to try to drive competition. We want to keep both guys ready, want to make sure we have somebody else. Also, I think they thought there was a little bit more in Ty that they wanted to go get. And you saw some of that come out of him. Ty looked deliberate. He had a little more zip on the football. I thought he looked more confident. I know the level of opponent. I get it. We're not going to talk about that right now. Actually, we might need to talk about that in a second. Was something that McElroy told me that Trent Dilfer said earlier today, but we'll get to that. I thought the defense shot their hands, strike and shed a little bit better. Saw Deontay Lawson slide over, shoulder square, take on a lineman, shed him, help make the tackle. Like, those were the things that we needed to see from the defense. James Smith, 23, is going to be a warrior on that side of the ball. And you were down Keenum and Latham now, so you had 2 defensive linemen that were out of this game and still came out and put forth a dominant performance. Some of the youngsters like Kirkpatrick and Reese really looked good when the next wave of defenders came in. Quay Rusall did a nice job in this game of freeing some other things up. You probably didn't see him pressure the quarterback much, but him slamming down in some twists allowed for things to open up because he occupied 2 offensive linemen. So a nice job by him. All in all, you're going to get Ryan Williams back. You're going to get Jam Miller back. You got another offensive line, like 70's going to help that offensive line. You saw the freshman at right tackle get some good reps as well. So they're getting some depth along the O-line, trying to figure that out still just a little bit more. You're going to be able to now take 11, 17, let them live in the slot. And Ryan Williams can continue to move around when he comes back. Just not hitting the panic button, like not throwing this team to the trash just yet. Just wait and see. I do think linebacker depth still needs to come on. Keon Sabb did some good things in this game. Thought some of the younger players in the secondary did some nice things. You saw the aggressiveness. You saw them want to go out there and hit. I think you got what you needed to get out of this game. Yes, Louisiana-Monroe, you throw for 371. It was a lower tier opponent, but you run for 212. Like it was what you needed. Jeremy Bernard made some big plays. By the way, the coaching staff raving about Jeremy Bernard, basically saying that, he's a guy that we didn't even need to give captain status to because he's going to be that guy. Like not a title that he needed, not that he really coveted, but he's going to maintain that status no matter what. He's that kind of guy. DeBoer told me favorite receiver he's ever recruited. Like the guy just has the mentality, the makeup of what you want from a wide receiver in today's college football. And I couldn't believe it was him on the field. We were watching practice. I'm like, who's this dude running routes? And like, that's Bernard. And I was like, because they didn't have helmets or shoulder pads on. I'm like, dude looks like a big tailback. Like I was surprised at how thick he was, and obviously can still run. But Latsier Brooks is going to help this team. He's going to add some speed, add an extra dimension. I think Rico Scott's going to help this team. He's going to add a little more speed as well. Give him some time to keep working into this. And obviously, you all said we got to wait for the Georgia game. Okay, Wisconsin this week will be a test. You'd like to see them handle their business the way they did this past week. I don't think the score will be close to that. And then you go into Georgia and see where you're at and see where, let all the chips fall where they may. You should get some guys back. Another thing was there was this clip of Tim Keenan like in DeBoer's ear right before the game. I think some people are maybe trying to turn this into a negative connotation as well. I can tell you this. That coaching staff raved about Tim Keenan and the guy that he is. They were so happy that they were going to have him on the sideline. He said he'd been coaching guys up all week at practice, even though he's in a boot. He's been over there in position drills. He's been one-on-one with different players. He's a leader on that team, and I think he's one of the guys that has bought into Kalen DeBoer. So do not read anything negative into that. I think for me, that was just him saying, we got your back. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. Like he was trying to pump Kalen DeBoer up, I believe, personally. So I don't think there's anything negative to that. DeBoer went into a team meeting this week, something he wouldn't normally do. So he's kind of trying to step out of his comfort zone just a little bit, get the guys riled up, give them some time, see how this thing works out, see how it plays out. It's a long season, a lot of football left, a lot of ball left. Let's see where Alabama ends up. But, I love the way the next wave of defenders came in. Love the way they used their hands defensively. The offensive line fired off the ball. You still have some issues in pass pro. Proctor's still got to clean the setup just a little bit, maybe getting a little bit too cute, a little bit too creative. Like Ryan Grubb told us, have a fastball and a changeup, man. Like you don't need 7 pitches in your arsenal, 9 pitches in your arsenal. Have the fastball, have the changeup, do what you need to do, roll with it there, and then you move on. All right, Arkansas gets a win over the weekend as well. And this is another one, hey, they handle their business. Like we're not going to go into this Arkansas State game and say that you proved a ton, but you had to imagine Arkansas State would be pumped up first time they played. Taylon Green, 17 of 26, 239, 4 touchdowns. He did have the 2 picks. And then he ran 9 times for 151 yards and a touchdown. You're going to get a little bit of bad with the good because he's going to ad-lib. He's going to move around, and therefore he's going to take some chances. When he's on the move, he's not going to see everything. It's fine. You do want him to protect himself, however. I think that's going to kind of be a theme across the SEC is how are these coaches going to manage the mobile quarterbacks? You think Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. You think John Mateer at Oklahoma, Jackson Arnold at Auburn, Taylon Green at Arkansas, Lenore Sellers at South Carolina. How are you going to manage this? Gunnar Stockton, week 1, a lot of people are like, oh, we can't take these hits. Are you going to continue to run these design cue runs? Are you going to continue to ask these guys not to put themselves in harm's way? How do you look at this and say, we need you to make plays for us. You're a playmaker, but we also have to protect you. And I think Taylon Green kind of falls into that camp. I thought the run game had a little bit more. In this one, I saw a little bit more from the offensive line, a little more at the point of attack. Center was a little bit better in this game. I like the fact that Taylor Green's still utilizing that play action, but being a little bit more decisive of when to pull down, when to pull the ball down and go. Instead of maybe wait, move. Like, he understands, all right, tuck it, it's time to go. He's very decisive there, and I like that. Mike Washington, good on the ground. Braylon Russell continues to kind of be that hammer. I like the backs that Arkansas has. The receivers, I think, are showing you that they have a little bit more, too. Like Omega Blake is a guy that I thought looked good in this game. We just haven't known what they're going to look like in this system, and some of them haven't played college football for a while. So 56-14, it's a nice win. You put 28 up in the first quarter, and you get out there and just get it done. Defensively, I like some of the looks that Travis keeps going to. 97 is going to be really valuable up front with him being able to slide inside and outside, playing flat down the line of scrimmage on some pullers and different things. I thought he's a guy that has a ton of value. Xavier Sori is just a maniac, like plays like his hair's on fire. Got the interception, had a big hit blowing up a screen. He's beginning to read and process things much more quickly. And he's a guy that Travis told me about when they got him, like a couple of days of their first spring, said, watch out for this kid because he has the ability to be dangerous and he can blow some things up and he can do some things. So I like what I saw from him as well. Thought it was a strong defensive performance for this group. Steven Dix and company that give you the flexibility to move around. I like that. And Travis is doing a good job of allowing different people to do some different things. I think he's trying to take care of the D-line just a little bit as well. And it's going to work out with them having some hybrid players that can line up different places. All right, Auburn goes out against Ball State. They handle their business as well. Not one where they were really threatened, 42-3. And you come out of this game, Jackson Arnold's pitching it around a little bit. It's pretty apparent what was happening. Hugh Freeze can say, take what the defense gives you, and that's fine. And to an extent it was. But I think ultimately this was, we want to give our quarterback some run. We want to facilitate our wide receivers and keep them happy. And we want to show people what we're capable of in the passing game to a certain extent, not just airing it out for no reason. The run game, also good again. Saw 72 come in at right guard and miss a little bit. Had some letdowns in pass pro after he had some great reps filling in against Baylor. 77, not exactly what we got in game one. A little bit of a drop off here. I thought Connor Lew had a nice game against Ball State, but the tackles have got to shore up pass pro. And this is another one. Like, there are a couple of things that are happening in college football right now. Drops everywhere. Auburn had a couple of drops. I mean, it happened. I think Arkansas had one bad one. Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, bad drops. Like, I'm probably not going to say it with every team that had them. Kentucky had 2 or 3, I think, that were bad. Like, the drops are insane across the board. I had our stats guy when I was in Charlotte for Read and React pull the numbers. 71 more drops in the SEC after 2 games than a year ago. So the statistics also back it up. It's there. The other thing is pass pro. Like, these tackles are getting smoked. And I don't know how to put my finger on it. I don't know exactly how to discuss it. I do think that a lot of these guys are trying to come up with all these different sets and be like, here's the thing about pass pro for an offensive lineman. You can't outthink the defensive lineman. First off, defensive linemen don't think that much. Like, they're trying to get to the quarterback. If they have to run your ass over, they'll run you over. If they go around you, they go around you. Are there setup moves? Yes. Do some guys strategically do that better than others? Of course they do. At the end of the day, you got to get in front of your defender. So just because you use a quick set or a deep set or a one-arm post or whatever the hell it is, that's not going to affect how he's rushing the passer. He's still going to go 110 miles an hour trying to get there like his hair's on fire. And if he needs to run over you, if he's going to stab or spin or go back inside, whatever that is, you react to him. Like, I think some of these tackles are attempting to dictate how the rushers rush. That's not going to happen. These guys are going to do what they do, and they're going to do it fast and furious, and you just got to be ready to react to them. And you set with the intention of giving yourself the best opportunity to adjust on the fly or react quickly. It's the only way to be able to get it done. But just a couple of problems that I'm seeing everywhere, and Auburn had a few of those issues as well. I did like the Auburn running backs, and now they're dinged up there, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But Jeremiah Cobb got to the line of scrimmage quickly. I like the sense of urgency to say, I'm getting downhill. I see space. I'm going to go now. I thought he did a really nice job with that. He ran for 121. But now you got Darrell Robinson beat up. You obviously have your original starter, Damari Alston, that's a little bit dinged up. So you're going down in the depths now to be able to find some different guys. Cam Coleman looked good. Eric Singleton got a couple of touchdowns. You wanted to get him going. Thought that was nice for the Auburn offense. Again, cleaned some things up on the offensive line. The tight ends did give a little bit more. 15 had a couple of good blocks in the run game here. Felt better about that group in this game. Actually, that's 2 games in a row. I felt pretty good about them. Defensively, 17 can absolutely move. Showed some nice speed. 47 was good up front. Saw 19 get in on some tackles. Good job getting in there and sticking your face mask in a couple of guys. 6 is going to be a thumper downhill. I think he can help this defense out. We know what he was capable of. He did it a little bit late last year, but I like some of the new looks also by DJ Durkin. Like you got 10 Amaris Williams lined up over the center, kind of in a zero-nose formation. Do some different things, mix and match your personnel so teams maybe don't get a beat on you right away, and you show some different looks that folks have to prepare for. So Auburn went out and handled their business. You give up 2 field goals, or you give up a field goal, you're good here. Like you did what you needed to do. You took care of it. All right, Florida, man. Okay, this is an ugly one. I get it. I'm going to say something on the front end of this that people aren't going to like, specifically Florida fans. I know what you want here. I know what you want me to say and what you think I'm going to say. When I went and watched it, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm just going to say it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like everybody's talking about the TFLs. There was one here or there, but it's like I didn't see consistently like offensive linemen getting run over. You got a guy that misses a cutoff from the backside, comes flat, helps make the play. They were really close on a lot of things. Like Jaden Baugh gets off tackle. He's got 20 yards of space and shoestring tackle. He goes down. You got a screen out to the side. Receiver's got all kind of grass in front of him. Other receiver can't make a stock block. Corner grabs him by the ankles. He goes down, make the play. You got a receiver running down the sideline. Quarterback overthrows him. Quarterback gets a little bit risky, rolling right, throws across his body deep, overthrown just a little bit. DB makes the play. So I thought he made some good throws as well, but there were obviously some questionable throws. The offensive line wasn't consistent. Didn't happen. Sometimes you can't have that one singular letdown. That's why the offensive line's a unit, and you work that way. One guy doesn't get his head across a defender. You miss a linebacker coming on your combo, and you don't come off, and then there's run through. Those things just can't take place. It's not going to happen. I thought the running backs ran hard. I mean, 18 carries for Jaden Baugh, I think. Yeah, 18 for 93. Like I thought he needed more. Jacoby Jackson definitely needed more. I mean, he was making guys miss in the backfield and still finding positive yards. So I thought he deserved just a little bit. Eugene Wilson was an animal in this game. On the end around, which I will say at that time, I'm kind of like, why end around down near the red zone? Like it didn't feel necessary. Thought some of the play calling looked a little cute, but I know Billy has a mind for what he's trying to do, what he's trying to set up. And at the end of the day, I don't think the defense has got the stops that they needed at opportune times. I mean, 6 of 16 on third down for South Florida, but you were 4 of 12, so you couldn't stay on the field. And it doesn't really matter to me about tackles for loss or quarterback missing throws or busting a coverage or not making a tackle in the open field, which some of the open field tackling was a little poor by the Florida defense. Scramble drill really hurt them. When Brown got out of the pocket, like he was able to find some things. A couple of guys underneath coverage able to pick up some extra yards after the catch, specifically as the game went on. But you got to cut down on the mistakes. Penalties, giving teams yards, giving teams opportunities, giving them second chances, essentially handing them the game late. These kind of things can't take place. Special teams snapping the ball over a guy's head. These are just mistakes that shouldn't be happening. There's not an excuse for it. You can't point to anything. You can't say, well, this is why. It's just a lack of focus. And it's a lack of care, honestly. It's a lack of giving a rip. Or else you wouldn't do something like spit on the opposing player late, which gives them such an advantage to be able to find a way and then actually go and win the football game. I didn't think the effort was egregious. I thought a lot of the execution was pretty good. And I thought you found a couple of guys that can make some plays. At the end of the day, thought you needed a little bit more up front defensively. And obviously, Banks' situation made that a little bit more difficult. But you needed to get to the quarterback sooner, and you needed to get ball carriers to the ground. You got to clean up some things along the offensive line so you can get in more comfortable, more manageable third down situations. But just dumb mistakes. Can't have them. It's immature. It's uncalled for, and it costs you the game. But from what I saw, and maybe I thought it was going to be so bad because I didn't see a lot of it live. I just saw what people were saying and what I read about it. some of what's on the field can allow them to win some games. So this will just be where they go mentally and emotionally from here, because it looked like late in the game, mentally, emotionally wasn't a strong suit for them. So can they turn that corner? Can they crank it back up? We'll see. All right, hey guys, don't forget about my friends at Rowback right there. Sporting them right now. I'm always wearing the Rowback. I love the gear. I love the stuff. They can get you set for the season. They have the team issued gear out now to get you set for college football season. You go to rowback.com, use promo code COLE20. You're going to save 20%. It's tough to beat. Can't beat that. Go pick up some new gear. The hoodies are amazing. Quarter zips are great. Polo's wonderful. They got shorts. They got hats, belts, whatever you need at Rowback. Get set for football season with all your team's favorite gear. Go to rowback.com. Promo code COLE20 now to save 20%. But we'll go to Georgia. They get the win over the weekend in a game that now I'm seeing a lot of people complaining about Georgia here. Like, we're mad about how they looked against Austin Peay. First off, you had a delay, so it's on the field, off the field, on the field, off the field, whatever. Like, that can have a little bit of that can cause some problems. The game plan, it was fairly elementary. It was a lot of screens and quick passes. Were there some things down the field? Yes. I think it's a little irresponsible for some of us to just definitively say, as soon as we see an open receiver anywhere, like, that guy's got to be hit. We don't know situationally what's been worked in practice. We don't know the coverages that have been gone through in practice. We don't know what he's been asked to do. And the protection wasn't great. Like, that's one thing that I think a lot of people kind of like. That was the thing with John Mateer that we'll get to, is like, this dude's throwing dimes and he's just getting his head knocked off. So there are certain situations when a guy's going to get hit and take a shot. Either one, can't expect him to throw it, or two, can't expect it to be accurate. That wasn't the case every time with Gunnar Stockton, but for a lot of the time, I think it was. They want to develop this downhill run game. They got going for 190 on the ground. Thought Nate Fraser ran the ball well. I like Dwight Phillips, too. I think he can add something to him. I think he had the longest run of the day. Drew Bobo, excellent job out in space, being able to find defenders and get them to the ground. Had a couple other good pulls by other offensive linemen. I'll say this, though. The gap scheme runs are going, and that's great. But there is a little bit of an over-reliance on the gap scheme play action protection. I call it pull protection, and I hate it. I despise it. And I'm not saying that Bobo's wrong for this. I'm not saying Georgia's wrong for this. It's just me personally, I don't like it. Because you're asking a guy to block back and wall off a defender. So you're turning your shoulders and you're blocking them back. And that gives them a free run upfield. Now, if it's the center or the guard, whoever it is, the other guard or center, whatever, they got to squeeze that down and close that space. That's hard to do if somebody's attacking upfield. So I feel like you're giving people a free run there sometimes. And then when that puller comes around, he has to be very adept to changing his track. So if you get an edge defender screaming upfield, he's got to get upfield in a hurry. If you get somebody squeezing, all of a sudden he better be there ready to take that defender on. And it's not like a run play where he's trying to kick him out and he stays straight on his tracks. Like, now you got to find a way to adjust and get your body turned to wall him off from being able to get to your quarterback. And that can happen straight on, inside, outside, upfield. And so it's difficult to run that track and then all of a sudden have to sift and be able to adjust to that. I've never liked it. I've never thought it was a great protection. I understand that it's necessary, but I would like to see Gunnar Stockton be given some straight drop back opportunities. Because oftentimes, too, I think in play action, if there's a guy who doesn't bite, like, you remove that immediately, because that defender is supposed to bite or supposed to come down, and that might be done. If he doesn't, you take that out. I think there's a lot of timing involved with it and a lot of rhythm involved with it, where if it's not like now or the next one, things kind of break down in a hurry. I would like to see play action protection where you fire off the football and you essentially show run in a way that has people thinking it's run. Now, they had success with gap scheme runs, so I can see where that keeps people off balance, but I would just like to see a little bit more off the ball and be able to do that. They got to find some explosive plays. They have the personnel to be able to do it, but let's be honest, some of them are going to have to come down the field. They just are. I'm not hitting the panic button on it just yet, because I don't know exactly what they've unleashed and what they're asking the quarterback to do. How much are they trying to loosen defenses? How much are they putting on film and not putting on film? I think it's easy to just say, throw it here, throw it here. And it doesn't always work that way. Maybe I'm a little too forgiving on the kid, but last week it was he ran too much and took too many hits. This week, apparently he has all these open receivers and he's not throwing to it. Like, he's still a young quarterback. Like it's going to take a little bit of time to adjust with a little bit of a new cast of characters and get things figured out. And I think that the game plans have been a little simple for him also, like helping him sort of work his way in. But we'll see. We'll find out this week because that Tennessee defense is pretty good. I thought the defense attacked. Good to see 33 Mendoza get some run in there. I thought he did some nice things off the edge, specifically attacking pullers flat down the line of scrimmage. Like he'll tee off on a puller now. Backed off in space, did some good things occasionally. Good versatility with 19, who can be off the ball. He can come up on the ball. Like he is a little bit of that Jalen Walker role, a little bit, not saying he's the same player, but like he can do different things. 3 was good. I thought 94 used his hands well up front. 52 and 44 are just they're good. Like they are solid. They've been there. They understand what it takes to be a D lineman in that system. Thought they did some good things. It's 28-6. You gave up 45 rushing yards. Like sometimes I don't know what people want, but I get it. That's your team, and you think that they should win by 100 every week. So, okay. All right, let's go to Kentucky Ole Miss, the only conference game that we had last week. There are some cool things that took place in this game. I think we actually learned a lot about Kentucky, too. And I know you never are happy after a loss. Calzada goes out of this game. Simmons goes out of this game. Calzada 15 to 30 for 149. Like the consistency is not there. The ability to adjust the velocity of the football on different throws that are not down the field, he still struggles with that. I love the way Seth McGowan runs the football. Tailback for Kentucky, number 3. He was a lead blocker, just decleating defenders. Like this kid wants to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Dante Dowdle did some nice things. I thought Jamori McClain and Hardly Gilmore showed you they can be weapons down the field. But once again, Kentucky, just like everybody else, a couple drops in this game, a couple big drops in this game. Tight ends, I thought were really good at the point of attack, adding some physicality, doing some things in the run game. But a lot of times too, like this offensive line is not built for straight drop back protection. So you run into some of the things that we were talking about with Georgia, like they can tee off on you, and the gap scheme stuff was going. Like they had a couple of nice runs with that, getting big boys out in space, forcing the defender to make a decision, and then boom, there you go. You got it. You find a way to keep that thing going. It did get bogged down a little bit later. I want to see more of the stretch play, which is what this offense is really built upon, and get teams running sideline to sideline. That's going to help some north-south cutbacks, which I do think the Kentucky backs got some good yards on cutback runs. But I want to see more of it, getting defenses flowing, and then some of the play action can come with Zach Calzada, where his strengths are hitting you down the field. I think defensively that, and also too, like the offensive line, just zone principles, I think can help them out some. It's not as definitive as block back, pull around, try to get that guy, he moves, you're in trouble. Like give them some, they're big enough, wide enough bodies to where I think if they start getting a feel for the zone scheme, they could kind of make it go just a little bit more. 90, 94, 92, all good for the Kentucky defense. 90's doing a good job getting into the backfield, penetrating. The edges started off well, but then it tapered off late. They lost contain a couple times in this game, and some of the reasons I'll give you from an Ole Miss perspective in a minute are probably why. But that was something that I thought got them late. I thought they did a great job attacking the football early. Contested catches did not go Ole Miss's way a whole lot. Later in the game, you saw a couple of guys slide under coverage and be able to make a few things happen. But I mean, you had one big cutback run, you had one big, catch down the field, and then late in the game is when the run started to hit. Once I feel like they kind of worn down just a little bit. But we know what Alex Afari can do. I mean, he should be playing safety. He's playing linebacker, and he's doing a great job kind of knifing through. Jordan Lovett does a great job from the safety spot, being able to help out. But I thought the defensive line for 3 quarters played great, and then things kind of fell apart a little bit in the last quarter. Some of that was contained, and that's where the big issues were late. Losing the edges, allowing plays to get to the perimeter that turned into bigger hitters. And you can't allow that to happen against a guy like Kewan Lacey who can rip. Oh, from the Ole Miss perspective, Kewan Lacey can go. Like, he is the real deal. This offensive line is not going to be able to operate with the traditional run game and be dominant at it. They're not that group. So what do Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss do? If you go back and you watch this game, as the game went on, the splits sort of compressed a little bit, so the wide receivers get closer to the line of scrimmage. That gives them easier tracks to be able to crack and get up on safeties. Well, then you run some of the gap scheme stuff. they crack, the puller is going to be out there on what? A DB or a corner. They don't want any part of that. So you don't even have to block them. You just make them make a decision, and Lacey's going to be able to find extra yards. It's a great job with the tight end alignment also. So bring the tight end and flex him out. What does that do? It pulls the safety out over it. All right. So you know you're going to be able to run off tackle. You pull that safety, that tight end back in, safety over the top with compressed or wide receivers, either one. Compressed, safety's up. All right. Out wide, safety's over. Flip the tight end, no safety in front because you know who's in run support. And that's when they hit the tight end in the middle of the field. So I thought Lane and Charlie Weiss did a great job of using formations and using personnel to not necessarily get matchups with players that they wanted, but open up parts of the field that they wanted. And there's different ways to do that. And they pretty much put on a masterclass late in this game of how to get free grass, essentially. And it was really cool to watch because they specifically did it for different reasons and then ended up working and ended up going. I thought Simmons tried to force a few balls. Once again, at the end of the day, the pass protection is not there. Like, these guys are getting beaten one-on-ones. They're overly reliant on slide protection. You can't protect him for a lengthy period of time. Did he take a few risks? Yes. Did he try to fit a few balls in? Of course. He knows he's got the talent to do it. When you're trying to do that and you're taking a hit, it's going to end up like it did, and you get a couple of interceptions. Don't know if the ankle's really bad or not, but I'll say this too. Like, they got some receivers that can go. Like Lane told us last week, all of our receivers can make plays. Harrison Wallace, Deuce Alexander, like Stribling, they can make plays. So all you got to do is get it out there where they got a shot at it, and they're going to be able to go retrieve it and hopefully get some yards after the catch. But the run game late ultimately was the difference. And I really thought what made that go was alignment, personnel, and finding free grass. They made that happen with what they did pre-snap. Defensively, I think what we're finding out here is this Ole Miss D-line is not going to take near as big a step back as a lot of people thought, including me. Xavier Harris is a monster. I mean, the dude is, you saw him tracking down plays from the backside. Excellent work by him. I also think Cam Franklin up front is going to give them really good reps. I like what Jamarius Brown 96 did a little bit. I thought Uman Mielen was a little bit more sturdy against the run in this game, setting the edge a little bit harder. And those guys got to the quarterback. So you give them credit for that. Felt really good about the linebacker play as well. Daughtery just plays downhill, man, like he is a force. So with what you have added to the secondary, if that group can even be close to what it was a season ago, you're going to be problematic. Now, did they misfit a few things against some gap scheme runs? Yes. Did scramble drill hurt them once or twice? Yes. But at the end of the day, I think you look at Sontaran Perkins and his versatility on the edge, off the ball. You saw Perkins playing that spiral a little bit too with Calzada. Like, you're not going anywhere. I'm going to be right here. As soon as you move, I'm going to trigger. I'm going to go and make life difficult. It's a good plan by Pete Golding as well. Listen, you go on the road against a team that wants to punch you in the face. They took that punch. They battled back and they won. I give Ole Miss a lot of credit for this win, man. I saw a lot of things that I think as the season goes on, they're going to be able to have a lot of success with, and they're going to be able to build upon. All right, LSU, Louisiana Tech. Once again, you get the win. You be happy about that. You go build on it. You correct some mistakes. But the one thing I'll say is just like the consistency of wanting to run the football and being dedicated to running the football. Not necessarily there initially. I know the carries over the course of the game will be able to be found. Some of that is the offensive line getting a little bit dinged up. You allow some penetration. Defensive line movement was a little bit of a problem. I didn't think Nussmeier was quite as sharp. But at the end of the day, you find a way to get your W here. Like Harlem Berry, he looked pretty good, 6 for 56. You get the freshman in there. He shows you he might be a guy that you can lean on as the season goes on. Now you got one of your tight ends dinged up, so how are you going to operate there? The one thing I do like is Xavier Thomas 0, the different ways that they're going to use him. I think he can be out of the backfield, motion in and out of the backfield, catch the ball, handing the ball. He can just be dangerous. He might be a way with extensions of the run game in different ways that can help offset some of the just, line up, hand off the football. Some of that too is formation. Like, it can't just be shotgun offset. You're limited with the amount of runs that you even have there. And at the end of the day, the protection's just got to be better. They can't keep getting Nuss hit. It can't happen. You keep getting him hit, you give up a couple sacks in this game, he's not going to be able to survive. Defensively, it was about as good as it was a week ago. Like I watch 44 operate on the edge and he just gets it. Like he knows how to open things up for other people. 33 obviously is a guy that just like his brother, like not afraid to attack, like just wants to go after people. Both Weeks brothers, I thought did some good things. Up front on the defensive line, I thought Mathis did some good things. You played a lot of guys up front defensively, which I think is going to pay off as it goes on. Guillory, 90, I thought made some good plays. I didn't think the secondary was out of position. I didn't think it was a group that busted coverages or didn't know where to be at certain points in time. And at the end of the day, whether it's Perkins blitzing from depth, whether it's Jack Pyburn taking on a double team so somebody can loop around, like they got home with another corner crash in this game. That's 2 in 2 weeks. You're going to get teams that go 4 and 5 year stretches without landing a corner crash. And Blake Baker's been able to do it 2 weeks in a row. So what I'm seeing from the defense is buy-in, number one, guys understanding I might not make this play, but it's going to be on me to open it up to find a way for somebody else to make this play. And you got to be aggressive when you do that, and they're doing that. So find some balance in the run game. Find the ability to have a little bit more of the traditional run, and then just stay aggressive defensively. And then who are you going to run the football with, and how's that going to operate? How much versatility can different players on offense give you? But, hey, it's a 23-7 win. It didn't look great. It wasn't pretty. You're going to have some of these letdown games. Okay, I'll stop here and tell you what McElroy told me from Trent Dilfer. So he's at the Birmingham Quarterback Club, and he said he asked Dilfer about some of these teams hanging, like Troy, Clemson, La Tech, LSU, whoever it is, whatever. And he basically said, you have the former third teamers and second teamers that are starting for most of these teams. The difference will be as the season goes on, we don't all have the 4 and 5 star backups. We don't have the backups that have the talent to be able to come in and even be competitive. That's the big difference. Also, I think, and I kind of added to this, what you're getting is a lot of these guys, like let's take Troy right now because they hung with Clemson. Troy's got a tight end in Alabama. They got a quarterback who played this week for Texas. They have a running back at Ole Miss, and I think they have a receiver playing somewhere in the SEC as well. You don't think all those other dudes on that team are watching what they're doing and knowing what they're getting to go do it, and that doesn't light them on fire, specifically in the 1 or 2 games that they know all those coaches are going to be watching film of because they're going to be studying those games. I'm just saying, like there's a lot more motivation for different reasons now for these mid-level schools and players than we've ever spoken about before. So just a couple of reasons that I think you're looking at. And even, there are some transfers down. There are a lot of these guys that have been together for 3 and 4 years. So they understand the system, the scheme, how to operate together, how to play the same type of football in the same ways. And that gives them some added advantages. But if you're LSU, man, you're 2-0. You take that. You're a top 5 team in the country. Like there's not a lot to be frustrated about. But I think at the end of the day, you're excited. You should really be excited if you're a Mississippi State fan. Like this is a signature win for Lebby, massive win for Lebby. I'm going to start with this. Blake Shapen was sharp. Blake Shapen was fairly accurate. He made some good throws, but he made great decisions of when to not hang on to the football and then when to tuck the ball and run. I thought he worked the mesh in the run game and the fakes and the RPO game extremely well. And I thought even though it wasn't a ton of running the ball, but there were a couple of plays where Davin Booth needed yards and he was able to find them. Like a lot of dirty yards from him in this game. And it was at points in times where you just had to have a little balance. You had to have a little bit of a run to set something up. And they did it. Brennan Thompson gets the game winner, 6 for 133, 2 touchdowns. I understand the dude fell coming off the edge, but like I still think that Shapen could have put that little air into that ball out a little bit further and at least given Thompson a chance to go get it. Anthony Evans was great. I felt like the protection up front from the offensive line is starting to get better. Like there were last year, it was porous at times last year. It's a little better this year. And I don't think really that there's any doubt about that. Now, as far as running the football more consistently, how do you find that? Where does that come from? I think now that people begin to have a different respect for what you can do outside, and you've proven now for 2 games what you can do and what your quarterback can do, then that's going to be a little bit more beneficial to what the backs are going to be capable of. Bothwell, Booth going to be able to find some different things. Also, I think too, like Shapen, I mean, he had 12 carries, some of those scrambles, but his designed runs, they're going to start to pick and choose their times to utilize those, and that's going to help them open some things up in the traditional run game as well. Where you should be most excited, though, is along the defensive line. And I know there's a couple of injuries for this football team that are going to be brutal down the stretch, but like Nick Mitchell playing downhill, thought he was exceptional. Malik Sila, I thought was great off the edge. Watch the first play of the game, or the third play of the game, I think. Third play. Both tackles for Arizona State are literally going on their rear ends into the lap of the quarterback. Like they collapsed the pocket on Sam Levitt and didn't allow him to get comfortable and didn't allow him to get going. So that defensive line, they look more the part this year than they have in the past. And they're attacking and they're going after you. And they did a good job with it in this game. I thought Brandon Jennings did some good things. I thought the secondary is still flying to the football. You didn't see a ton of missed tackles. I didn't think there were a ton of yards after the catch. That, first and foremost, is going to limit explosive plays more than anything. And Jordan Tyson, 6 for 68, he did have the touchdown, but that's a guy that can create those explosive plays just like Kane Udoh can. He had 105 yards rushing, but you didn't give up the big runs consistently over and over. And that's what was happening last year is this defense was running themselves out of position to the point where you would give up those explosives the other way or on cutbacks. I'm seeing less of that this year. How much is sustainable on that side? We'll see. They're going to need bodies. They can't afford to lose guys now, but the aggressive nature in which they played up front, not running themselves out of plays, and then the quarterback giving them chances on offense, you feel great about where you are right now. You're sitting there at 2-0. You got to win over a top 15 team. Last year's Big 12 champions. I thought it was exceptional. And I thought it was a little bit more low risk on the plan side offensively of let's not ask him to sit in the pocket for 5 or 7 seconds. Let's give him some deliberate things to get the ball out. Let's read how these defenders are going to play us. We'll find some things later down the field. And it worked out for him. It's a huge win for Levy, man. Happy for him, and fans should be happy about it as well. All right, guys. Game Day Men's Health. It's easy. All you do is go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. If you live in the Birmingham area, they're open in Trussville now. That office is open. You can head in there. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Sign up for the free consultation. You get the free PSA test, the free testosterone test. They give you the baseline where your health is, and they're going to give you different ways that they can help you out. Peptides, testosterone replacement, weight loss programs. They can do it all for you there at Game Day Men's Health. Great staff, great people, not going to push you in anything. Tell them you heard about them right here on Cube Show. And if you are struggling with sleep, if you're feeling on edge, if you lack energy, they can help you with all these things. Need to drop some pounds. Coming off summer, they can help you with that as well. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Go sign up for that free consultation today. All right, Mizzou. This is a big one. A lot of people don't know how big this rivalry is, but it's massive. The run game, not right out of the gate. But listen, this is how it's supposed to work. This is the beauty of the stretch play. It doesn't go, it doesn't go, it doesn't go. And then all of a sudden, one guy overruns it, one cut back, and here it comes. Or you start trying to spike it. You start trying to play it upfield. The back cuts back early. Linebackers are over the top, and it can go. You just have to stick with it. And it's just you hammer it, and then there it goes. But Bo Prabula is showing us that he's a real player in college football. A couple of really nice touch passes, a couple that he had to sneak in and fit in tight windows, and he was able to do that. When to leave the pocket and use his legs, I think may be a big strength of his. He is not somebody who dances around there and kind of looks side to side and shuffles around and maybe if and or but. Like he's like, I got to get out of here. Let's go. And he can try to run you over, which once again, we talked about this. Do you want to see him protect himself? Because he's another one that's going to get some design cue runs. Had a few in this game because you got to keep him honest and take advantage of it when it's there. But he also has to protect himself. Jamal Roberts showed up, man. I thought Jamal Roberts ran hard, 13 for 143. Ahmad Hardy had over 100 yards rushing. It's a great day on the ground. Brett Norfleet was exceptional, but actually both tight ends were. But Norfleet, 87, was a guy that really showed up on film, gave you some good blocks, did some stuff through the air too. I think he caught a touchdown, if not 2. Norfleet had 2 touchdowns, 7 for 76. He's so valuable in this offense, man. The O-line's starting to get it just a little bit. You still have 1-2 that are going to miss here and there. Thought center played well, getting onto those wide reaches at times, helping guards go ahead and climb up to the second level. Good with the motion and the eye candy of how you're going to work the wide receivers. And Kevin Coleman can make plays, man. Like we told you this. We saw him at State last year. Like he can go. He's got juice, and you can give him quick throws that he can turn into explosives. He can hurt you down the field. A couple Missouri receivers made some big catches in this game. However, a couple drops that have got to go away. The thing that I love more than anything, and by the way, ball security too. Like can't keep putting the ball on the ground. That cannot happen. Seeing Jalen Catalon play good football is amazing. Like didn't know how much actual football he had left in him. He's been injured so many times. Like Saw some good in him at Arkansas. Heard all the folk tales about him at Texas. Like, it didn't know what was going to be there. UNLV, you got some here and there. He's playing good football for this team right now. And I think he kind of allows Marvin Burks to go out there and just be this Tasmanian devil. And like, that's what Burks is playing like. I've already had some people ask me about coverage. I get it, man. Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't really care. Because if I get a dude playing like a stick of dynamite like he does, we'll be okay. We'll figure it out. And Missouri is much more athletic on the edges than anybody's giving them credit for. Yes, you add Damon Wilson, but it's not just him, man. They got other guys on the edge, like Zion Young and Chris McClellan are flexible, can move around. Tristan Newsom's going to play downhill, but they got a couple dudes on the edge that can just flat get it. But I love the intensity that the whole group shows. Like, they'll sell out on a slant if they need to get north and south. You got some taller, leaner, lighter guys that play the edges, but they can set the edge against the run, and they'll attack a puller at the same time. So they made life really difficult for an offense that gives you a ton of stuff. I mean, Kansas giving you pullers with jets and motions and fakes and option plays, quarterback runs, and they stayed home for the most part and were able to play that, took the ball away, and really went out there, I thought, and used an aggressive style of defense to win this game. I don't think it was all coverage. I don't think it was all alignment. I think they just went out there and knocked the piss out of some people, and that was a big reason that Missouri won. Because I saw the edges crashing. I saw the linebackers playing downhill. I saw the safeties attacking, and 42-31, a nice comeback too. Like, you had a bad first quarter, and you're able to shore some things up, be able to bounce back and get this one. I love what I see so far out of Missouri. You got a quarterback that can make plays, running backs that can get it, a scheme that understands how to work it and is constantly setting things up for down the road, and you got an attacking defense that's going to find a way to get the ball out. It's a good formula for Drink there at Mizzou. And I think at the end of the day, you're going to find out, like, this team's going to be, they're going to be a tough out, I think, down the road. Oklahoma with probably the biggest win of the weekend. They take down Michigan. I can't say enough good things about John Mateer, man. I really can't. Like, the kid is impeccable. Like, he is so much fun to watch because some of the things he does is like, they're like inhuman. Some of these throws just on a dime, like down the sideline, in between the safety coming over in the corner, on the run. Honestly, the most impressive throw he had may have been, the Statue of Liberty, whatever it was, double reverse, where they pitch it back to him, and there's three Michigan defenders basically running at him, and he flips it out their sidearm, and Kannick's got a chance to catch it in the end zone. It's right in his hands, and he doesn't pull it in. But, I mean, I know it's incomplete, but that is dumb for him to be able to do that way. Now, is the traditional run game there? No, it's not. You got to find a way to get the traditional run game going, because you can't allow Mateer to go out there 19 for 74 every game. You can't keep taking those hits. There's some issues with pass protection. Now, I'll say this. I don't know if that's him saying, I'll take him and I can deal with it, or if that's the offensive lineman misidentifying, or if you're sliding protection the wrong way, if it's the back going the wrong way or going out on a route and he's not supposed to. I don't know, because I'm not there. But I do know 5-6 times in this game, and probably 10 times the last 2 games, 8 or 10 times, Mateer's had a free runner coming at him in the pocket. That can't keep happening, because you're only going to get faster and faster with guys who are able to get to him. And there's going to be one that he doesn't see, and it's going to be the end of it all. So they've got to clean that up front. I think Jared Kannick is providing something just totally different. Like, he's tough as nails. They put him up there in the line of scrimmage. You kind of see him at first, you're like, what is this guy doing up there? He'll come on split zone and try to take a D end out. He doesn't care. He might get knocked on his rear end, but he'll get back up and do it again next time. Had the beautiful one-hand catch down the seam. I just think John Mateer gives them an it factor, man. Deion Burks looks healthy. He looks like a dynamo. I think he's somebody that's going to give them some big plays. Satanga made some big plays, man. Like, I don't remember Satanga making these kind of catches at Arkansas last year. Tiptoeing the sideline, working the sideline. Like, John Mateer, man, I'm just telling you, like, he's a dude, and he gives them something different. He is that guy that Roman Harper has described, and there's only a few of these, that raises the level of play of everybody else. I can already see it. You got a linebacker playing tight end. You got guys that weren't catching balls last year that are making circus catches this year. Like, he's raising the level of all of it. Traditional run game, like, where's Jaden Ott been? What's the deal with that? Find the traditional run game. Stop turning linebackers and defensive ends and corners free to run at your quarterback when he's in the pocket. And you're going to be able to do some special things this year. Defensively, oh, buddy. I tried to warn you. They laughed at me. They said I was dumb. I didn't know what I was talking about. Y'all go watch 0, 52, and 65 play inside this defense and tell me you'd want to deal with that for 4 quarters, because you wouldn't. And you probably wouldn't deal with it very well. Linebackers playing downhill, playing fast. I mean, Kip Lewis, we know he can run. He's there. You still have guys off the edge that can get it, like R. Mason Thomas. You got Grayson Holton, 56 inside too. I mean, they just got waves of D tackles coming in there. And this is what's interesting. I told you guys last week, one thing that I was interested in this game, how aggressive was Brett going to be up front? And yeah, a little bit more forward down, because some of the tight end stuff, like it was weird. Tried to formation him some. It didn't really work out, but he stayed aggressive. And that was their plan. They stuck to it, and it worked, because you got the quarterback out of the pocket. You stymied the run game. I mean, the one cutback run by Justice Haynes, that was pretty much it. And that was just being a little over aggressive on the backside. He got a nice cut outside and he took it. I mean, okay, it's fine. Like, they got you on one play. But man, this defense, they can run. They're aggressive. They attack. You got linebackers that are not afraid to come down and make a hit. Linebackers that can attack gaps, get the run through from the linebackers helps a lot. And then the ability, like 38, Heineke, not afraid to run through and try to blow some things up. He's a problem. But man, I tell you, they're a fun group to watch. And if they can shore a few things up offensively and build a few more things with what they're doing on offense, it's going to be a dangerous football team, man. A very dangerous football team. 24-13, they get that win. They get to 2-0. They go to Temple this week, and then Oklahoma-Auburn, which should be a fun matchup for a lot of different reasons. South Carolina gets a win. Don't know how much we're taking from this one, 38-10. I will say this. The O-line's playing hard. 78 plays hard. Center's a good little player now. Like, he can get over there and reach like a head up 2 or 3 technique. Pass pro, he's a really good helper in pass pro. He plays with his eyes, which I love. So he'll set here and his eyes go out here. He doesn't take his body all the way out here and leave his guard on an island. Like, he's got great awareness, understands how to do things in pass pro and be able to help out. It's not collectively a group that's getting a lot of movement right now. So the traditional run game is not really there. So they're going to lean on Sellers, which to an extent is fine. He can handle it. I do like how Mike is using his tight ends, moving them east-west, giving some different read plays. The simple high percentage throws are there. A lot of them coming off the read fakes. He's got some RPO stuff in there for Sellers. Sellers, I do think, needs to calm down on some of the throws. Like, he gets really amped up on a lot of very simple high percentage throws. I think he can up the completion percentage there a little bit. And then some of the receivers have just got to keep stepping up. Like, I mean, I think we know that you've got a big physical freak show wide receiver that can run past everybody, but he's not going to be your overly reliable, like, third down option. So is Bennett going to step up? Can Jacobs continue to step up? Like, they've got to find more consistency at the wide receiver position. It can't just be all on tight ends, because I do think some of the tight ends are doing good things, but like that can't be your go-to options in the passing game 80, 75% of the time. It's not going to work out that way. But Sellers knows how to take games over. Like, I'm a little concerned about him waving the ball around in the pocket, like, you know, the Eric Dickerson thing, like, and then late throwaways, like, just go ahead and throw it away, live to fight another day. Those are things that are going to come, though. I think he'll grow into a few of those things. With this opponent, I'm not concerned about it, but like this week with Vandy, they got some dudes that can attack off the edge now, and they're going to get there in a hurry. So that could be an issue. Defensively, this secondary is going to cover a lot up and allow them to do some things up front that can help generate a rush. Like, Dylan Stewart was great in this game. Brian Thomas, man, like, that kid just plays hard. Once again, another guy, been in the system, been in the scheme, knows it, understands it. So he can go out there and help you do some different things and not have to over-communicate. Okoronkwo, I thought, was good at linebacker. I think the linebackers are playing physical, playing downhill. You saw a little bit of movement in here, but like, I didn't think this was more about Clayton giving you different looks and showing some things and not necessarily running everything out of it. But it's evident to me that what DQ Smith, some of the guys do on the back end, is going to cover a lot up, because you got pass rushers. And I know the offseason emphasis was finding ways to free up pass rushers that get double teamed. We'll talk about that. I've got the game this weekend, so I'm sure we'll spend some time on it. But 38-10, you get the win over South Carolina State. You handle your business. You come out of halftime, put a couple touchdowns up. You feel good about that. And special teams have been massive. You got a returner that's special. Now he's different. He changes the game. So you start to build around that. Now you can't lean on it and expect it every game, but that's something that either flipping the field, putting points on the board, momentum plays can be huge with, if that's the case and that's how you're operating and you're getting that on a consistent basis. So I'd feel pretty good about that. You feel pretty good about the win. You're 2-0, so you feel great. Now you get Vandy. You guys have heard me telling you about pizza pulls. You're trying to get back into the hobby. Go to the Fanatics Live app. Easy. Every Wednesday now, not Tuesday, Wednesday, we're switching it up. I'm going to be there breaking cards for you. We got some football cards coming. The Origins by Panini is out now. You go into shops, search pizza, bam, pizza pulls right there. There it is. You can go check out what you're going to be able to have. Who's ripping right now? Let's see what we got. We got some Insta Rips going in there right now. Insta Rips, you buy one of these, and it's a graded card right there. Look at that one. Signed Insta Rip. That's Jose De La Paula. PSA 9. Oh, my boy Matt's giving me a shout out right there. So there it is. You go in there, you got baseball, you got Pokemon, you got football, you got golf, you got basketball. Don't go spend $900, $1,200 on a box of cards where you can spend $20, $30, get it on your team that you want right there at Pizza Pulls, Fanatics Live, and whatnot. Get in there every Wednesday. I'll be there around 11 a.m. Tennessee handled their business. I thought they were dominant in pretty much every facet of this game. The offensive line, Lance Hurd, a couple of big blocks. Kitzelman, a couple of big blocks. The tight ends. I love the fact that they're not getting away from the tight end usage in two ways. One, throwing them the football. Two, allowing them to go out there and be physical at the point of attack. You said 2 off seasons ago, this is where you wanted to go and what you wanted to be, and they're sticking with it. I respect that. I appreciate that, and it's working. Star Thomas went for 69. He's a guy that maybe doesn't have the Dylan Sampson breakaway ability, but he can grind out some yards, had 3 touchdowns. Chris Brazel goes 9 for 125. Mike Matthews 6 for 111. So they had big days. Aguilar pushing the ball down the field, 23 of 31, 288. Nice. Here's what I like about Joey, though. Aguilar had a couple throws in this game. One of them was a tight end. We talked about it on Read and React, where in a couple of them out in the flat that he completed, that were the balls that people said before the season, he's not going to be able to operate in this offense this way, because he can't change the velocity, and he throws too many fastballs, and he doesn't have the short accuracy that he needs, because receivers need to catch these balls and run. Well, he's starting to get it. He's starting to complete some of those passes, and the passes look the way that I feel like they're supposed to look for them to be able to go and be able to work. And when you're using these tight ends with all the inserts and all the splits, the quick game to them is going to be hell for defenses to play. Because if you take one step towards the run, all of a sudden, bam, that tight end's out there. You take one step up, he's insert, and he's past you. It's kind of like what Ole Miss did a good job of week 1. They're going to steal yards that way. And if Aguilar shows you he's got the touch to be able to do it, they're going to find ways to pick you apart. The other thing, too, at Tennessee, man, and we don't need to spend a ton of time on it here, but the defensive line is the defensive line. I thought Charles House did some good things. I love Nathan Robinson up front. We know Bryson Eason can play. Dominic Bailey's going to give you flexibility, be able to move. The D-line's for real. Aaron Carter's for real. You got some problems at corner. They're banged up. So where do you go there? But all in all, I thought the defense came out, didn't have to do a lot, and dominated this game. Tim Banks isn't going to go 100% vanilla, but you came out, and because of what you did up front, you were dominant in this game. 72-17, Tennessee gets a win. Texas handles their business. They get the win. Started slow. I think the offensive line's got a long way to go. At the end of the day, you look at Tennessee, you look at Texas, and you say, can you open up the traditional run game? It hadn't been going the way that it needs to just yet. It's a little bit of leakage here. It's a run through there. It's backside guy coming flat down the line of scrimmage here. It's just got to be cleaned up, and it's going to come with reps together, reps in games, live reps, getting used to movement, getting used to the quickness. It's different than practice, man. You got to do it together. They schemed 13 open a little bit. Art's kind of a rough start, but then he got going. I think he showed you good velocity on the football, good decision-making as the game went on, overcame a little bit of adversity early. He had an interception, but he goes 19 of 30, 295, 4 touchdowns and a pick. The flood wheel concept was there for Texas again. He even missed 2 of those down the sideline, which I think could have been big. Wingo had a drop. Still waiting for him to kind of come on. I thought Baxter did some nice things physically in this game, but this is a team that has like all the speed, athleticism, all the fun stuff, all the cool stuff. They got to go find a way to get better at the non-cool stuff. And that is the interior of that defensive line continuing to come on. That is the offensive line with the tight ends, because injuries made some big plays in this game too. Like, he had some nice catches in spots where they really needed them before things were out of hand. 38-7, Texas gets the win. But I think that you have all the juice, all the speed. You got the tires. Like, you just need to go find the suspension in the engine now. And that's got to be the O-line, the D-line, playing more consistent. Anthony Hill Jr. was awesome in this game. I mean, the punch on the face mask, I don't know how he didn't break his hand. But active sideline to sideline, coming up on the edge, doing different things. Michael Taft was great. And I'm going to tell you who else is playing good football is Leona Leafowl. Like, 18 is playing like a madman the last two games. He gives him an aggressive nature at the second level that I really like. Still Trey Moore going up, down. Feel good about watching him in this defense, how he's operating. The middle of the defense kind of coming on. Like, it's getting there. Watson, 98, I thought did some nice things in this game. He'll continue to come on. I think what we learned here is that they can overcome some adversity, still have a long way to go. Texas A&M handles their business. I'll tell you, Utah State gave them some fits up front early now. This was not a comfortable game for them right out of the gate because Utah State's defense looked like they were going to cause some problems. They struggled with movement. And my only issue here is, like, the quarterback proved to me he's a little more capable than I thought. I haven't had all the confidence in Marcel Reed, but he made some really nice throws in this game. He read some things, diagnosed some things, got the ball out when he needed to, accurate throws. But you get a little pressure, and accuracy does kind of dip. It does kind of go away. It's fair. Where's the traditional run game? Because he leaves the pocket some, and you had a couple Q runs that I just wonder, are we going to live on that? Like, are you going to even up the formations at all and just try to run the ball at people? I haven't seen him do a lot of it yet. I've seen at times the offensive line get a push and move some people around. Like Big 71, I thought got a good push a couple of times, but they don't feel like they're allowing them to really be that. And I think you have the tight ends that can help you do it too. Maybe they're saving it. Like, I don't know if you want to do that against Notre Dame this weekend. Like, that's probably not the team that you're going to be able to pull that off against. But I do think like they have it in them. This receiving tandem between Craver and Concepcion, big time. We've seen Mario Craver operate. We know what he's been, what he's capable of. Kid from Alabama, but like, he's a little undersized, but he can play. So they got juice, and they got guys that can hurt you down the field. I mean, Bussey's a guy that can give you explosives also. So maybe it's just trying to get the quarterback a little bit more run, get him comfortable with some other things. But I still want to see him be a downhill run team, because I think they have the capabilities to do that, and that can separate you from a lot of other teams. Scooby Williams, great at linebacker. Cassius Howell was awesome off the edge. Awesome off the edge. Like, he was what they had last year. He provided some in this game. Thought Tyreek Chappell was good here as well. But they had defensive ends getting a pass rush that allowed them to not have to do a whole lot on defense. And if they keep getting that going with the veterans that they have at level 2 and 3, defense is going to be in good shape. Don't know exactly how much we take away with this. I mean, Bryson Barnes has played some football, so you at least got a veteran quarterback. You disrupted him, gave up a couple in the second, but all in all, you walk away 44-22. You're feeling pretty good about it. Vandy gets a really nice win against Virginia Tech. All right, so what have they added to the offense? I don't think we've seen a lot of it just yet, but let me just tell you this about Vanderbilt. It's sloppy. It's not super technically sound. It's not coaching tape, as they would say in the business. Like, this is not coaching clinic tape, what you're going to get from Vandy's offensive line. But it kind of reminds me of Fresno State a couple years ago. Like, they got a couple bar bouncers in there, man. Like, they got a couple dudes that can throw you out the club, and they're not afraid to fight. Like, it is the biggest, most physical, or at least attempt at being physical, Vandy offensive line I've ever seen. Like, they actually have some real size with some athleticism. Again, it gets off the rails a little bit at times, but they have that ability to be able to move you, and they want to move you. They're doing their best to move you. So, I mean, you got a traditional fullback you're putting in the game. You obviously have a quarterback that can get you with north-south runs. He can get you with option plays. It looks like Cedric Alexander might be a little bit dinged up, but McKalen Young had some really nice runs also. Like, he doesn't have the juice, but like making one cut, getting north and south, like he can be just as much of that. Felt pretty good about what he's going to be able to bring. And you got Junior Sherrill and the guys down the field that I think still give you enough options to be able to help you out. Now, Berlowitz had to come in late, do some different things. I still want to see more Stowers. I think you can draw more stuff up for him to be able to give him the football. And a nice comeback here for Vandy, too. I mean, you were down. You have an offense that's not really built for coming back, and you're able to do that, get back and win this football game. That's impressive. It's really impressive by that group. Here, moving forward, like, I want to see more Cedric Alexander. You guys know I think he's the most underrated player in the league if he's 100% or close to it. But Pavia is going to have to cut down on the what the F plays. And I know it's easy to just sit there and say this is him. But like the getting tackled, throw the pitch, it works out. All right, but the fadeaway chunk balls down the field without a flag, one would have been an interception. So like some of those have got to go away in games like this weekend, especially with guys on defense that can attack the ball and attack you the way South Carolina's can. There's got to be, and I realize he's reckless. He has all the confidence. I think that is part of it, is like he believes he can make these plays. I really believe that. But these plays can get him beat in a hurry. So how do you manage it? How do you sort of offset it? I can tell you this. The yards before contact are a lot better for Vandy this year than last year. Like that part they're able to find, and that's working. And a lot of that is the misdirection and the option plays and the different ways that they can distribute the football. But a lot of that too is that offensive line just finding it and getting guys off the ball and finding a way to move people. So you feel pretty good about where they're headed, where they're going. You're 2-0, and you got to win against an ACC team. That's strong. Defensively, I like a lot of what you have up front, man. I like what you're able to do on that defensive line. You got a couple of guys that have been sort of inserted into this defense that can attack off the edge and really be problematic. The thing that I like the most is like when they turn guys loose up front, like they go. I mean, you line, I don't care who it is, like CJ Hurd or Nick Rinaldi up off the edge, like they're going to go get there. Like Martell Height helping on both sides of the ball, I think is great. I like Bryce Cowan, what he's asked to do at different points in time. So like, I like how aggressive the defense is. I want to see them hold the point of attack just a little bit more. But when they're on the move, they're really good. Whether it's a slant inside with pressure off the edge or some kind of a twist inside, some kind of a three-man game, like they will come after you. And they got some safeties and linebackers that are not afraid to mix it up at the line of scrimmage at all. Not afraid to get up there and do it. So, Patterson's able to play a little bit more outside right now, so he doesn't have to mix it up as much inside. And Seabrooks and some of those guys can do their work in the middle. It's not a lot different than last year, but I do feel like you have 1-2 pieces that are a little more aggressive and how they attack that are giving them some different advantages. And they got some experience that knows the system, knows the scheme. This is a great win, like a huge win for Vandy. And I feel like they did it with aggressiveness on defense and players making some big plays on offense. Like I said, now some of those can go the other way, so you got to be really careful with those. All right, please subscribe. This week was brutal. We'll be back next week. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina for Vandy, South Carolina. It's going to be a fun one. Excited for that one. Tell your friends about the pod, about the show, and we will be back next week.